Yo, welcome to the Gig Life Podcast. I'm your host, Stevie Taylor. A little bonus episode for you today. As you may know, I was born and raised in a small town in the Wairarapa region of New Zealand called Masterton. Recently, I was invited onto a local Wairarapa radio show called Everyday People on Arrow FM, hosted by Camille Watkins. If you want to hear a little bit about my early days back there in NZ and how we got to be where we are today, keep on listening. So, hope you dig it. Hope you're well. Here we go.
Okay, so Stevie, you're a Masterton boy, born and bred, right?
Sure am.
Yeah, so you got to grow up in this wonderful town. How is it for you growing up here in Masterton? What did you get from it?
Oh, I got heaps. So I left Masterton with my family at the end of 1994. Born in 75. So grew up in we were in Kippenberger Street in Lansdowne till I was about 5, and then we moved to Roberts Road. So I lived there the whole time until we left. So yeah, always in the Lansdowne area, and local schools, Totra Drive when it was there, and Hiona for a couple of years while it was still just Hiona, and then Makota College till sixth form. But growing up in Masterton was awesome, and you know that.
I do.
It was a pretty awesome time, that sort of growing up through the 80s and early 90s, especially with skateboarding and the music scene, and it was wicked.
It was fantastic, hey Stevie?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's one of your biggest memories about your early years growing up in Masterton?
I think skateboarding, because we just did it so much. We woke up, skateboard was leaning against the door, you had something to eat, and you said bye, mum, and that was it. You know,
absolutely.
And when we first sort of started skating, there wasn't much. Pardon me, there wasn't much for us down there. There was the little bowl and the sack day there didn't have any ramps or anything in it, so it was just the skating rink. And this was before they built the oversized vert half pipe.
Oh, wasn't that awesome? How did we survive?
Almost unskateable. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But it was just get up, grab your skateboard, and come home when it's dark, pretty much.
Yeah. It was fantastic. You were saying how you grabbed yours, well, it was because it was leaning up against the wall. I turned mine upside down and put my pillow on it.
Oh, really?
I was that
that's
much into
out.
skating.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'd get down there at about 6 a.m. and practice before any of you boys got there. I did get found knocked out once by a runner running past. I knocked myself out trying to do something, but it never stopped me.
Do you remember how you did that? Do you remember how you knocked yourself out?
No. All right, not at all, actually. I really don't. So, that was fantastic growing up with the skating. And, you just touched on the music scene too. Wasn't that fantastic?
It was. So, I'm part of a musical family. My dad's always sort of played in bands, and there's always been bands around the house. And, I started playing piano when I was 12, I think, and then moved to drums, and have just always played drums and played in bands around Masterton and the Wairarapa, and was just something I always did and still doing now. So
which is great. Did you get lessons from Darren Knight at all?
No, I didn't. But I know Darren. I got my training from the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra percussionist who was living in Johnsonville. His name was Norman Gadd, and my dad used to take me over the hill to Johnsonville once a week, and I got sort of formal training from him.
No way, that's really cool.
Yeah. So did that, and then we had this drums percussion teacher that used to come to the school once a week. Lance Phillip, his name was, and he taught me at school, and the rest of it's just sort of self-taught, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's fantastic. Do you know what? Since I've been doing the show, Stevie, there's been and just finding out how big the music scene here is in the Wairarapa, and how many people have been like trained under the same people in that. It's pretty amazing, eh? It's really special.
Yeah. Darren's a pretty awesome dude. He's
he's my old workmate and my old landlord. Oh, and my landlord. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And so I know that, so you grew up and you're a Lansdowne boy, and you're definitely into the music scene. As but you didn't just stay in the music scene, you got yourself quite a career, didn't you? What did you train as?
Oh yeah, okay. So when I left school, that was the end of sixth form. I started an apprenticeship as an electric motor rewinder, because my dad is a electric motor rewinder, electrical fitter, and him and my brother Craig, they had a business called Motor Winders and Locksmith Services, which was based out of the old Gregory Motorcycles building in Queen Street. And
I know the one. Yeah.
Yep. So I just I started my apprenticeship there as a electric motor rewinder, and I'm still doing that today. So
are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic, because I was going to ask, because I was thinking you've got a fantastic podcast, which we'll get into really soon. I was thinking that must be all that you do. So you moved to Australia when you were 20, which is quite young to move.
Yep.
And you've stayed there, obviously, and kept going with the career that you have. But you do so much more. I know that you're now married and have 2 kids, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's obviously asking how I sort of juggle it all. I guess in a sense, yeah. I guess I've always got to be busy, I suppose. You know, ants in the pants, can't stop moving. I've got to be doing something, you know. And sometimes I overcommit myself, but you just try and make time for everything, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you find it hard settling into Australia? Because I know, they joke about, there's not really any border between the two countries, even though we know there is, and so many New Zealanders do move to Australia. Did you find it hard doing that transition and moving and setting yourself up? Was that difficult?
Good question. So when I came over, my brother and my mum and dad had already been here before for holidays and stuff. Okay. And I'd never left the North Island at that stage. So for me, when we found out that we were going to be moving over here, it just, I know in my mind, it just seemed like it was a holiday or something. I don't know. That's just sort of where I was at. Being 20 at Masterton, and at that stage, the family business had folded, and I was working out at J&L and doing the 3-shift sort of rotation. You just become a zombie for 12 months. Yeah. So for me, it just seemed like a big holiday, you know. And once we left, I guess the first 3 months we were just sort of all living in a 1-bedroom apartment, but it still seemed all pretty cool and exciting. But I think after about 6-8 months, I got really homesick.
Oh,
yeah, no. And I was looking at coming back, and
wow.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know what the shift was, but just ended up sticking it out, and still here.
Yeah, that's amazing. I actually think that's really brilliant that you're still there. Yeah. You know Scott, of course.
Sure do.
Yeah. Sure.
So he was actually over here for a while in the late 90s, and he stayed with us. Stayed with me and Craig up at our little flat we had up in Castle Hill. So no.
Oh my goodness, I haven't heard that story.
If he's listening, g'day Scott. What's happening?
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, he came back from Australia about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, how cool was that you were able to stick out that homesickness and stick it out and stay there? You do come back every now and then, though, don't you?
I do. Yep. Still got good friends here. I did have my last family member. He passed away last year from Masterton, but we've still got family in Wellington and up in Hamilton, and just there's people, friends, family, just sort of scattered all over the North Island.
Yeah.
To be honest, haven't been back since COVID. But yeah, the plan is sometime later this year, if we can.
Yeah, but the big question, Stevie, is have you ever actually got to the South Island? Have you got there yet?
No,
way.
Because every time we do come back, it's for me. I'm wanting to get home and sort of reroute myself,
Yeah.
And so I want to do that around my friends and my family. So we never sort of get the chance to cross over to the South Island.
It's absolutely amazing. That could be a cool family holiday one day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that you've just created this life for you over there, and I only realised that you had a podcast when I sort of started doing this and just sort of taking notice of other people a bit more and what they were getting up to. When did this podcast, The Gig Life, when did that start, and what was your inspiration behind it?
Yeah. Okay. So it started in 2018. Now, being a gigging musician, there's a lot of late night driving to gigs and home from gigs, and you've got to kind of take up that time to listen to something or not. Some people don't. Some people just like to turn the radio off. But for me, I like to listen to podcasts when I was going to gigs and coming home from gigs. And there's this one podcast out of America called I'd Hit That, which was this guy that was just going around like casually long form interviewing musicians, mostly drummers. And when I stopped playing in bands, when the family got, the kids got a little bit older and my wife could sort of go back to work, I sort of dropped back on the playing gigs. And then I was kind of thinking, well, I don't think there's any podcasts around Sydney or Australia that do that kind of podcast where they interview the local scene. So I looked into it a bit and brought some gear, and then asked a few of my friends if they would be the first few guinea pigs on the podcast, and and here we are, 2025, and it's still going. Yeah, so that's good.
So what? Can you just tell me quickly what year was it that you started?
2018.
2018, and you've been able to keep this podcast running, and you're not just it's like, we can interview big names if we want to, but a lot of it is local artists and that sort of thing as well, New Zealand and Australia, and the big names help. But the thing is that you are able to get big names as well on your podcast, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, I suppose. But the way I look at it, they're all big names to me,
Yeah.
Yeah, when you say big name, there might be a famous person that most people have heard on the radio and that kind of thing, but to be fair to the others, I kind of get more out of just interviewing my mates or their mates that have been playing music since as long as I have. You know what I mean? I just
that's Yep. That's the thing, though. I totally agree with you, and that's what I enjoy about this show that I do, is getting people like you and people that we know in the larger whole scene of the Wairarapa on the show and sharing their story. And we've got some, we both know people who have done really, really well as well in the whole music scene as well.
Yep.
But what I really like about your show is that you have been so consistent with it and kept to what you do, and that has led you to making it onto the Apple podcast charts, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's been a bit of a trip, really. I get these notifications every now and then that the podcast is at such and such a spot on this chart, and yeah, it's kind of a bit of a buzz. I mean, it's not like I'm selling platinum albums and getting paid lots of money for it. Like there's no money in podcasting unless you're advertising or that kind of thing, which I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's cool to sort of go, hey, look, I'm beating Alec Baldwin's podcast, and I'm, little things like that. It's just it's a little trip. Yeah. But going back to what you said about getting big names on the podcast, I try and be a little bit strategic with that, and if I can if I don't get too much out of the conversation with that person, at least it kind of goes to a few more people, and then other people discover the podcast, and you got to be
Yeah, absolutely. And, no, absolutely. And to make it onto those charts is freaking amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool,
and the fact that you've done that and you have your own setup, and also, getting feedback is also really validating that you're on the right path as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to get, emails and messages and I've got like, the ratings and the reviews come up sometimes. It's kind of cool to see that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you're talking to these people, what are the conversations mainly about? Because I know that you are interviewing musicians and that. Is there... let's take it to, is there any one interview that sort of has stuck out to you more than others, which can be kind of hard when you've talked to so many people over the years, but is there one that's always sort of like stuck out to you or anything like that?
Oh, good question. Geez, it's hard to pinpoint any particular one, to be honest. Let me just have a quick look at. I don't think I can answer that one, Camille. I'm looking at the faces and going, I've taken I've got so much out of everyone.
It was a mean question, Stevie. It was a really mean question.
That wasn't very nice. That wasn't very nice at all.
No. If somebody asked me that, I'd be like, I don't know, because you get so much from all of them, and you get such a good buzz from doing it as well. Eh?
Yeah. Well, going back to the early part of your question, there is what do I sort of, what do we talk about? Well, I obviously being a musician myself and being a gigging musician. The sort of the crux of it is finding out how they got, like kind of what you're asking me, I suppose. How you sort of get into the music and but I like to sort of delve into their instruments and I don't know, just go listen to it, people. Check it out. It's like I don't know. It's sort of hard to answer that question.
That was mean of me.
No, not mean at all.
Aside from the podcast, are you still involved in the music scene? Are you in a band? What's going on?
No, I'm not in a working band at the moment. I've sort of stepped back from that, but I do play every day. I've got my drums set up behind me there.
Oh, brilliant!
I do play every day, and I still write and record.
Oh wow!
Music and but yeah, the whole gigging scene it kind of wore me out a little bit, and it's kind of tough on the body. And I'm not getting any younger, Camille.
Yeah, I know.
So
you're preaching to the choir
here,
yeah.
Yep.
But you have been you have written quite a bit of music and played. I like that you're still keeping and playing the music. One of your songs that I'm actually going to play after the interview, "Kids on Queen Street," Kids on Q Street.
Yeah.
Do you know how me and Scott sat and listened to that? And I think that I messaged you. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
It was just so cool because we knew who you were talking about.
Yeah.
And
did you recognise all the voices at the end?
Yes, visually being able to go into our head and just see what you were singing about.
Yeah. That song bounced around in my head for years. I always had kind of a melody recorded, and I had some bits and pieces of other music, and I didn't kind of know where it was going to go. And I was on my way to a gig in Bondi, and there's a street in Bondi called Bondi Road, and I just remember, and I wasn't driving, I was sitting in the back of the van, with the other bandmates, just sort of looking around at the people, thinking, oh, so these are the people on Bondi Road, and then all of a sudden, bang! I just thought, oh, what about the people on Queen Street? So that's where I guess that's where the title came from, and then to be fair, it didn't take me long to come up with all the different parts of that song, because it's all, it was just all part of my day-to-day life and all those people I saw every day and all those things that we did. And there's a reference there to, BMX riding and my family, we were all part of the Central Wairarapa BMX club for years. And
oh, wow.
Yep, which is, it's great to see that all getting rebuilt again. That's been awesome watching that from afar. Yep. But it was just, it didn't take long to come up with those, the words for those different parts. And, this is back when, Queen Street, you could only go up one way and only come back from the other way. And, we had the benches now. We could skate down and rail slide on the benches and just all that sort of stuff.
I remember it all. I just totally remember it all. And now it's a 30k zone on Queen Street, and it's like, mind you, it's probably quite a lot safer.
I think we skated faster than 30k's down there. I can tell you.
I know. Amazing times. And Masterton's such a cool little town to skate with it being so flat. Do you know what? I remember with Sarah Kerr going and skating the terrace in Wellington when we were about 13 years old, and we were legends.
Speaking of Wellington, did you ever go to the Snake Pit?
No, do you know what? I have a feeling I did, but I actually have no memory of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Did you get to go there?
Oh,
I know Scott did.
We used to catch the train over there quite often. There'd be a group of us used to jump on the train and cruise over. It was awesome because that's where the old that's where the cake tin is now. It was sort of it was there. Yeah, that was a pretty awesome place.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I remember going to Cheapskates and the guy going, you're the only girl who hasn't come in and brought clothes, because I was in there to buy some bearings or something like that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so now I want to talk about one last little thing that I know that you are doing, and it's absolutely nothing to do with podcasts or music. So you're a runner now.
Yeah, I'm a nearly 50-year-old wannabe elite athlete.
What inspired that? How did that happen?
I just wanted to get fitter. I mean, I've been playing soccer for the last sort of 5 years. After having played in bands for so long, and just time to get back into a team sport. And I just wanted to get fitter. And over here, I'm not sure I'm pretty sure it would be in New Zealand, but there's a thing called Park Run. So it's a free.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. So I just got involved in running park runs every Saturday morning. So that's like a 5k run, and they're all over the place. It's free, it's a timed event. It's a good community, and I just started running about this time last year, and I'm still running. Forest, run, Forest.
Yeah, run, Forest, run.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's actually fantastic to start doing that at our age.
So I'm trying to reverse all the bad stuff,
Do you know what? Do it. Do whatever you can. Honestly, looking after yourself is the best thing you can do. Honestly, I wish that I'd started a long time ago, I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, wearing shoes, anyway.
Yeah, and congratulations to all your, what you've sort of brought yourself back from, and how you're rebuilding yourself.
Thank you.
That's primo to see that. So good on you for that.
Not an easy thing to do, Stevie.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
I tell ya. But this, honestly, I would say that doing broadcasting, podcasts, I recommend it to anyone that can get into doing this. It's such a good thing for your mental health, man.
It sure is. And then a lot of the times it makes you realise that you're not as messed up as the next person too.
We're all messed up.
Yeah. Because that's another thing about sort of long form podcasts and interviews is, once you're warmed up and your guest is warmed up, they can open right up, man, and it's cathartic for them, and quite often I'll get people go, oh man, I feel great after that. Thanks for bringing that out of me, because I haven't spoken about this in so many years and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty awesome.
Or they'll say something like, "I've never told anyone that," and you're sitting there just like, "Oh my God, you did what?" And I that's why I like not knowing everything about the person I'm going to interview before they come in. I just like a vague, "Oh yeah, you're human, cool, come in." And then just to get that first hand, "Oh my goodness, are you kidding? This is so cool."
Yeah, that's awesome. That's wicked.
Yeah. And we come from such a great place, the Wairarapa. I was just going to say some people are down on it. Who cares? Let them. It is such a good place. And we did have a brilliant time growing up. Like, for real, it's such a cool little place, Masterton, eh?
Yep. And I just wish, and we you know, I think the skating scene there is, well, from what I can see from afar, is pretty cool, and there's some pretty amazing equipment there now. You know, and like I said sort of earlier, when we first started skating, there was the little bowl there and the skating ring, and we finally got the half pipe and that sort of stuff. But we had to work really hard and work with council to get that stuff and.
I remember all of that.
Yeah, and for the kids to have...
It gave us somewhere to be.
It did, yeah. But for the kids to sort of have what they've got now is pretty awesome. Look, I've got I've got a story too about Scott.
Go.
And,
yes, tell me.
Well, it was about... I don't know if you remember the indoor sacto that we had.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so
yes.
I've just got this memory of... Because we borrowed Scott's dad's truck, I think it was.
Yeah.
To move well, I mean, this is the story. I'm not going to. There's not too much more to it than that. But we just we loaded all that stuff up from the flat in the skating rink and somehow got it into Scott's truck. Don't know how many trips it took Scott's dad's truck. Yeah, and just sort of moved all that stuff into that indoor sacto, and that, man, what a cool place that was.
Yeah, it was. It actually really was. I've got such vague memories, and then there's some strong memories. Did you get to come over to see the Bones Brigade in Paraparaumu?
I did, yep. But it was raining. It was raining. They didn't skate, remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, but and they were sitting up in wherever it was, and we just
tower thing.
Yep, and then we got the autographs. But remember going over there and seeing a few sort of few events. There was a Santa Cruz one there, and
oh wow,
yeah, Chris Miller was there, and old Lee Ralph representing from home. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Old Lee Ralph. Remember Lee Ralph?
Scott's
He's awesome.
favourite board is a Chris Miller.
Oh right, yep.
And I'm a Lance. I've got to get a Lance Mountain from when I had one. Yeah. And what was your board?
Oh, it was Hawk. I had a Tony Hawk Mini just to start with, and then a full size Hawk, and then I think the last boards I was skating were Dogtown boards. I had an Eric Dressen board. I think that was the last one that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's actually really cool to see some of the people from our age down at the skate park and that. Do you remember Piers?
No.
Oh, Piers, he's a little bit older than us, and he's a fantastic skater. And he goes down there now and watches over the little ones and gives lessons and that. And it's just, it's like full circle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just such a fantastic thing. There's a youth hub there and a food caravan, which is really cool. It's such a brilliant place now. Can't wait till you come back and get to see it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, our food caravan was Faulkner's garage. We used to skate across the bridge and get your I think it was $1.50. You used to buy you used to get a can of Coke and a Mars bar. And that was our fuel for the whole day.
You know? I know, it's crazy. It's crazy when you think back. No, we were cool, and we would drink from the river.
Yeah,
pretty sure we
sure.
did. I don't know. Might explain a lot, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, Stevie. Thank you so much.
Oh, awesome.
I think we've covered everything. I'm having a quick look. Yeah, I have. I really appreciate your time and getting to catch up this way and getting to share your life. Thank you so much.
Oh, and thank you to you, Camille. I appreciate you reaching out and getting in contact. And when you asked me to do this, I was stoked. It's cool to.
I was stoked.
Yeah,
I was stoked.
Yeah. It's cool to reconnect again and. And just hear what's going on in Masterton now, and although I am here, I'm still 100% Kiwi. I'm still a New Zealand citizen. I don't have an Aussie passport, so I still support the All Blacks and the Hurricanes, and I'm Kiwi through and through. I just don't have a home there anymore. So
no. But tell me one thing you miss the most about home.
Oh, the people.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. No question. Yep.
Yeah.
And then if you take the people out of it, it's the pace. Like Sydney is, it's full on. Where we are is a little bit sort of quieter, but once you get out onto the motorways, it's nuts.
Yeah,
it's just nuts. Oh, I've got a funny story. Well, it's a real quick story.
Yeah, no, tell us.
When we would come back, because we're in Sydney and it's so busy. When we would come back to Masterton, we'd sort of be walking around, and if we saw like 4 or 5 cars in a row, we'd go, "Oh, something must be on," because it just.
Yes,
because you just never saw it back in the day. Whereas
it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. It's a lot busier now. I think because it's so much easier for people to get cars in this town now too.
Oh, right.
Got some pretty crappy car salesmen in this town, I can tell you that. But yeah, everyone has a car now.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Stevie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Camille.
When I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to put on Kids on Q Street. Thank you so much, Stevie, for joining us. I appreciate you so much. And I'll catch up with you later, okay?
Likewise. Take it easy, Camille. Thanks again.
Yeah, you too.
Right,
thanks, Stevie.
See ya.
See you.
Cheers. Bye.